Thank you, Sabrina, for that lovely report on Mr. Theodore Roosevelt. And now it is time for me to tell you why Mr. Roosevelt got a B plus as the chief of party. Now, before I explain that to you, I should probably tell you what the role of the chief of party is. In this role, the president will help members of his own political party to get elected or appointed to office, or he'll try to appoint or elect people who support his policies and like him, or he might even try to campaign for re-election after his term is up with his own party's support. And part of the good stuff that he did was that he did ask for his party support after his first term, which he got, and he was a very progressive leader who was very strongly affiliated with his Republican Party, and at the time the Republicans were very progressive, so this worked very nicely. He was a very big part of the party. And originally, he did even endorse his own vice president to replace him in the Republican Party after his term was finished. This is William Howard Taft. We all know that this friendship and endorsement did not last much past his second term, but that's a different story. Some of the not-so-good stuff that he did that caused him to only get a B+, was that he usually refused to settle on or agree with any of the Democratic policies, and as much as this might show that he was extremely strongly affiliated with his own party, it showed that he was a bit inflexible to other parties. He wasn't very understanding towards other parties, and also the fact that right after his term was up, he completely turned on his own party, caused him to only get a B+. Next we have the Chief of State. In this role, usually he's more of an iconic figure, he's a public figure, it's a ceremonial role, and he kind of represents the American values at the time. This was very true of Mr. Roosevelt, and this is why he got an A. He was an icon of a new America. He was strong-willed, he was modern, he was very progressive, which is great because it was right in the progressive era. He had multiple famous speeches, such as Duties of American Citizenship and Strength and Decency. He was a very good speaker. He traveled all around the nation. He frequently spoke to the public. He was very diverse. He was just a real good icon of what was going on at the time in America. Blacks were migrating to different places, trying to get jobs, trying to get rights. Women were searching for rights. People were looking for labor rights. And that was also a very big time of trusts, and he was right on that progressive era, busting those trusts, trying to pass laws against them, beating monopolies, just being a very good progressive president. He's known as the Trust Buster for that reason. And this is just a quick quote from him from one of his speeches called, saying, "Believe you can and you're halfway there," kind of speaks for itself. He's very progressive and a very good man. In terms of the chief diplomat, he did only get a B for this, because as much as he did really good stuff, he was a little bit overbearing, which some people really was very off-putting to them. Some of the good stuff that he did was that he played a big role in foreign affairs, which is good because being a chief diplomat means that you're supposed to interact with leaders from other nations, you're supposed to take action in foreign relations, you're supposed to associate with leaders from foreign countries, and you're also supposed to develop foreign policies if you're trying to be a good chief diplomat. And he was good for those reasons. He was hugely involved in foreign affairs. He is even a mediator in a war that really didn't have too much to do with him. It was the Russo-Japanese War. America wasn't involved. But he wanted to mediate, and he did get a Nobel Peace Prize for that, which is amazing. He created the Gentleman's Agreement out of that, and he created the Panama Canal for transportation between all different countries. He was very involved with other countries and their problems. But some of the not-so-good stuff, or the backlash of this, was he was almost over-interested in everything. He kind of colonized Latin America with his big stick policy and being very dominant over those Latin American states, countries. He wanted them as their own. He wanted their resources. He was kind of wanted control of them, and this was another problem that people had with him. He wanted worldwide power and influence. He wanted to be in everybody's business, which some people don't like. So for that reason, he only gets a B because he was a little overbearing, although he did do some great stuff as chief diplomat. This is him. This is a quick political cartoon. It's showing him with a big stick, kind of beating down those poor Latin Americans. And he's obviously being a little overbearing and controlling as he stands about 20 feet taller than the rest of them. And this was a quick one that we added in as a fun one. Chief of Grudges. Some of the good stuff here that gave him this A plus because he was great at holding grudges is that he was originally strongly endorsing a man of his own Republican Party, William Howard Taft. But as soon as he realized that Taft decided that he wanted to have a mind or brain of his own, and he didn't want to be a puppet for Roosevelt, he formed a huge grudge, and this carried on to being such a big grudge that he created his own political party, Bull Moose Party, and he ran against his old friend, Mr. Taft. This was someone he endorsed strongly, but this was mainly because he just wanted him for his own personal gain and influence once he's out of office, but he was so angry and he held such a grudge that he decided to form his own political party and take away votes from the Republican Party, which he used to side with so well. How sad. But he gets an A+ for this because he was great at it, holding grudges. Overall, he gets a B+. Well, he stays consistent with A's and B's through all of these things. He had ups and downs. He was a little overbearing, but he was also such a great progressive president for the time, a really huge political icon. He was a trust buster. He was a Nobel Peace Prize winner. He was a diplomat. He was just all around a really good president, which is why he gets a B+ overall.